Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello students, welcome to TV learning programs. Hope you are doing well. I'm Teacher Julius, and today I'm learning with Senior 5 students. We are going to learn on Unit 5. We are still on our Unit 5, which we talked about in the previous lesson. And our today's lesson, we shall look at constraints to business growth and development. But before I continue with this, there is some question that I want you to first answer for me, which I want to put for you. Then you get your books and you try to answer and you share your ideas. So I want you to write this question and you answer it for me in a few minutes. In a few minutes. So the question says, you intend to start a business. You intend to start a business in future. Why would you struggle to grow and expand your business? So this is a simple question which I want you to work out. Then you write, then we see the reasons, or you see how you have tackled this. So the question is, you intend to start a business in the future. Why would you struggle and grow? Why would you struggle to grow and expand your business? You know, we talked about business growth. We defined what business growth is, and we talked about what business development is. We talked about the indicators, signs, what shows that the business is growing and expanding. So here, I want to ask you, why most entrepreneurs, why would you, if you start any business, why would you struggle to have it grow and expand? Why? So how can you answer that question? Try to put down some points, then we share the ideas on this question that I have put on the blackboard for you. So let us try to answer. So what reasons, this question, what does it need? It needs you to give reasons why you would struggle, to give motives, reasons for business growth. Why would you struggle? Why would you work day and night? Why would you work very hard to make your business grow and expand? One, what have you put down? Yeah, somebody saying to maximize profits, to maximize profits in the business. Somebody saying to maximize profits in the business. Yeah, so you would struggle to grow your business, to expand it, such that you maximize, you generate high profits. Then two, which are the reason? The motives. These are motives of business growth. Two, somebody saying to enjoy what you call economies of scales. To enjoy economies of scale. Enjoy economies of scale. What are economies of scale? So those who do economics of scale, these are benefits. These are advantages that accrue due to large-scale production and expansion of the firm, of the business. So when a business expands, when a business grows, there are some benefits that it gets. There are some advantages that it enjoys. So most entrepreneurs, or even you will struggle to have your business grow such that you enjoy what you call the economies of scale, the benefits that accrue due to large-scale production as a result of expansion and development of the farm. And there it can be transport economies of scale. Even when your business has expanded, you may go to buy in large quantities in bulk. When you buy in bulk, then you are given what you call a trade discount. That is an advantage because you cannot buy in bulk when your business has not expanded and grown sometimes. So you would struggle to make your business grow and expand such that your business enjoys what you call economies of scale, low-cost production. What could be another motive? These are motives or reasons for business growth. So what could be other reasons or motives? Somebody is saying to gain status and recognition. Status and recognition. Somebody is saying to gain status and recognition. Maybe in the society. Somebody is saying in the society. When your business grows and expands, you are known. You are recognized. Your business expands. When your business expands and grows, then you gain status and recognition in the society, even in the country. They will say, people will start identifying you by your business because it is known. So what could be another motive why you would struggle to make your business grow and expand? Why? Somebody is saying to win customer confidence or to improve or to win customer confidence and trust in the business. Customer confidence and trust in the business. Customer confidence and trust in the business. When your business expands and grows, sometimes here customers will gain trust, will gain confidence in your business. So customers or the public increase their trust and confidence in a business that is growing and expanding. Then we have what could be another reason that you have put down? To attract investors. Yes, this is a strong point. Investors are always interested to invest their amount of money in businesses that are growing and expanding. Those ones that have signs of growing and expanding. To have what you call safety on investment. Because he or she cannot invest his or her capital money in a business that shows no signs of growing and expanding. Remember, if you are an investor, you expect what you call ROI, return on investment. You need to generate some returns from the amount of capital generated. And therefore, a business that is growing and expanding attracts more investors. So one is to attract more or to attract investors into the business. To attract investors into the business. To attract investors into the business. That could be another reason to attract investors into the business. So, those are some of the reasons or motives of business growth. So now, business growth can be facilitated by very many factors. We talked about factors that determine or factors that affect business growth, which I said you explain them in two ways because of the word affect, determine, or influence. Now, our lesson of today, I want us to examine constraints. Constraints to business growth and development. So the word constraints, you have to look at that word, constraints. So these constraints, this word, we can say that they are hindrances. These are hindrances. When we say constraints, these are hindrances. We can say that these are limitations also. These are limitations. These are what we call setbacks. They can be setbacks. These are different vocabularies that we can use. Setbacks, impediments. These can be even roadblocks to business growth. Factors that decelerate business growth. Factors that limit, factors that hinder, factors that may discourage business growth. These are the ones that we are going to examine. And in this case, we may have the internal factors and the external factors. I want us to try to categorize them. The internal factors of business, what are the internal hindrances? Internal hindrances of business growth. Internal hindrances or constraints. Internal hindrances or constraints to business growth. To business growth. To business growth. So what are they? So when we say internal hindrances, the internal factors, the business may control these factors. These internal hindrances, constraints, the business have a say, can try to change, can try to control them, the internal hindrances. So what could be the internal factors now, or the internal hindrances, internal constraints, or limitations, impediments, setbacks to business growth? So tell me, what could be those factors? Because there are very many. One we have, you can talk about maybe capital constraints or inadequate capital. This one can be an internal factor. Inadequate capital. So inadequate capital, this is insufficient capital, lack of enough capital to invest into the business. Inadequate capital, which discourages when you have when you don't have enough capital, this discourages further investment and hence limiting the output or the production of more goods and services, which limits inadequate capital, which limits further investment, which limits further investment, which limits further investment and production, which limits further investment and production in the business, and production in the business. When you don't have enough capital, that means your investment will be very low. You can talk about lack of record keeping. This is an internal factor. When you're talking about managerial mistakes, this is one of the managerial mistakes that may lead to business collapse or business failure, lack of record keeping. When you don't track records of your business, this may lead, for example, you have accountants who don't keep records of cash received or cash spent. This may lead to cash theft. You may forget. Maybe people that have taken goods on credit and eventually the business may collapse. So lack of record keeping. So you can say this may lead to loss of cash. Loss of cash. This may lead to loss of cash. For example, you may forget people who took goods on credit, or someone has paid half, you have not recorded, and then he comes, he says, me, I paid all, because you don't have any record of what he paid. So this may lead to loss of cash in the business, hence limiting business growth. Hence limiting business growth. Hence limiting business growth. This is also an internal factor. You can also talk about lack of proper business planning. Lack of proper business planning. Proper business planning. Lack of proper business planning. We have what we call a business plan, a written document that shows how the proposed business venture will be run or will be operated. So a business plan is a written document that shows the overview of the business that you are planning to do, and it shows how the business will be run, all the necessities, what will be required, the production, the manpower that will require, the production site, everything. We have very many components. We have components in a business plan. So when you start up a business, without a business plan, it's like flying an airplane without a compass. So a business plan, it gives direction on how you can handle, how you can carry out your business. So lack of proper business planning. Then we have other internal factors like employing an unskilled manpower. Employing an unskilled manpower. This is an internal factor because the owner of the business can try to change on this. Employing an unskilled manpower, how will this one lead to business failure, or how is it a constraint, a hindrance? An unskilled manpower lead to wastage of resources. You have employed someone who doesn't know how to operate machinery, and eventually things develop, those machines may develop some problems, and therefore this may constrain, this may limit business growth and development. Let's continue to external hindrances. Or external constraints to business growth. External hindrances to business growth. And development. So what could be the external hindrances? So these internal, remember, the internal factors that limit or that hinder business growth can be controlled by the business. The business or the business owner, the entrepreneur, may have some control about this, but it becomes very hard for the business owner or the entrepreneur to control the external hindrances. So he may have less influence on these. So some of these would be, we have what we call high levels of competition. This is, it may be external high levels of competition. In this case, the entrepreneur, yes, may try to use all ways on how he or she cope up with the level of competition, but he cannot stop people starting up businesses or enterprises selling similar goods and services like his. He cannot stop them. So high levels of competition is a very big, or is an external hindrance. And how does this one limit business growth? This one may limit it in many ways. This reduces the number of customers, the number of customers. It may reduce the number of customers a business may be having. A business may be having. A business may come. Someone may start up a business. You have 100 customers or 200, and he comes up with new strategies, with new goods, and he takes away some of your customers. So high level of competition is a very big hindrance or constraint to business growth. And next, you have to know that when there is high levels of competition, you invest more in advertising, persuasive advertising, making adverts, and whatever. And you remember, you may make or you may invest in advertising and you don't get customers to come and buy your goods. And eventually that increases costs of production, which reduces business profits. So high levels of competition is a hindrance. We can also talk about some other external factors like unfavorable government policies, e.g. high taxation. Unfavorable government policies, e.g. high taxation, When taxes are high, this reduces the business profits. In this case, you all know from your previous units covered, you all know the taxes imposed on the businesses. We have like the corporate tax, the tax imposed on the profits of a company. So if this tax is very high, that may reduce the amount of money available in the business for investment. So unfavorable government policies, e.g. high taxation or high taxes. Then we have what you call political instabilities. or political instability. This is also a hindrance because this creates an uncertainty on investment, political instability. This creates uncertainty on investment. So here you fear to invest. You fear to invest. So this limits business growth and development. This limits business growth and development. We have what we call unfavorable economic factors. Unfavorable economic factors. Unfavorable economic factors. What are these economic factors? Like price instability. In case when there's high rates of inflation, unfavorable economic factors, like when there is high level of inflation in an economy, this also this one does not stabilize investment. It creates an uncertainty on investment. So it is a limitation to business growth and development. We can put the point of technological factor or low levels of technology. These low levels of technology applied in production. Low levels of technology available. Low levels of technology available. So this limits, technology is very important in a business. So when there is low levels of technology, when there is poor technology within the country, that limits business growth and development. Technology helps in so many ways. So in the next unit, we shall look at technology in business, how it is applicable, its importance, and how it can boost business growth, how it can enhance business growth. Then we have some other external factors like poorly developed infrastructure or undeveloped infrastructure. Undeveloped infrastructure. You see here, you may have less influence in this, or you may not have any influence on this. So how does this one limit business growth? Poorly developed infrastructure, e.g. roads. So this one, this limits production, or this discourages, can use the word discourages, this discourages production, this discourages production, or it makes it very hard to access marketing centers. This discourages production and makes it hard to access market centers or marketplaces. You cannot transport your goods that you have manufactured from the villages to the marketing centers because there are no well-developed infrastructure, e.g. roads. And again, if infrastructure like roads are not developed, it increases transport costs. It takes a long time to transport goods or to reach on the market. And this one now, if goods cannot reach the market at the required time, that creates also losses. That creates losses. Then we have a small market size. Small market size. This can also be an external factor. Small market size. When the market is not large enough, when there is no ready market for the goods that you intend to produce or that you are manufacturing, this limits further investment and production, hence limiting business growth. So this hinders further investment. This hinders further investment and production. Further investment and production, hence limiting business growth. Hence limiting business growth. Hence limiting business growth and development. Business growth and development. So there are very many factors. We have a point of corruption, which can be both internal and external. The point of corruption can be both internal and external. Because corruption within the business that is maybe practiced by business owners or the managers may lead to business collapse, or the business may decelerate in terms of growth and expansion. Simply because if your manager is corrupt, he's practicing corruption within the business. He's corrupt. People give him money. He employs people who are incompetent. And therefore, they cannot carry out production very well. They are inefficient. They waste raw materials during production simply because they were brought in because of corruption, because they knew someone within the business. That is corruption within the business, practiced by someone, the leader within the business. So that brings the business or makes the business backslide. That is a setback to business growth. That is a setback to business growth. Then, before I wind up this lesson of today, I have to leave you with some questions right away from where we started this unit up to where we are now, and you have to try those questions. So I want you to look at this activity that I'm going to put here for you, and you write it in your books. So question one, I want you to explain 5 internal and external factors or external hindrances, or setbacks, external hindrances or setbacks for business growth. For business growth. That is our question number 1. I have said that setbacks, these are hindrances, these are limitations. Setback, something that can pull you back. Something that can pull you back. So what pulls back business growth? If a business is growing, what can pull it back? What can stop it? The roadblocks. So that's our question 1. You have to explain 5 internal and external setbacks for business growth. Question 2, remember here your points must be stated very well. Question 2, I want you to describe. So here with describing, you have to explain. Describe 5 internal and external factors that may lead or that facilitate business growth and development. Business growth and development. Business growth and development. Business growth and development. So these 2 questions, I want you to work out them. Like question 2, you will look at those factors, or even you may look at those who are trying to understand this very well. Like question 2 will be answered by same factors, but the way you will state them differs from the way you will state these hindrances. There, the points or those factors must be stated in a positive way. Must be stated in a positive way here. Here, there are hindrances, setbacks in a negative way. But when it comes to this question, your factors, your points must be stated in a positive way. Large market size. Large market size in that way. Don't say small market size. Low levels of competition. You have to state it in that way. Proper bookkeeping. But categorize them as internal factors and external factors. So you have to look at your factors as you will be stating them, you know, these are really internal. The business can control them. With internal factors, the business has some control, some influence on them. But with external, it is very hard, or the business has less control on external factors. So you must be able to distinguish the two questions and answer them properly. Thank you very much.